Most people know the big dates: July 4th, 1776, April 9th, 1865, December 7th, 1941, but history is shaped just as much by the moments that don't make the school textbooks. What happened in the shadows of the American Revolution, the aftermath of Lincoln's death, or the lead-up to World War II? Today, we're diving into 6 remarkable and often overlooked events that all happened between June 8th and June 30th in the turbulent centuries that forged America. We begin with the last gasp of royal control in Virginia. On the night of June 8th, 1775, John Murray, better known as Lord Dunmore, the royal governor, fled Williamsburg under cover of darkness. The situation had grown dangerous. Dunmore had already seized the colony's gunpowder, inciting local rage. The Virginia militia was now fully activated. The armed colonists were massing near the capital. Dunmore knew he wouldn't last the night. His midnight flight to a British ship marked more than the end of his tenure. It symbolized the collapse of royal governance in one of Britain's most influential colonies. Just weeks later, Virginia's delegates would vote for independence. This wasn't just a local moment. It was a domino falling. Dunmore's escape helped ignite rebellion across the South and proved that British control could and would be broken. Fast forward exactly 1 year and shift the scene to Canada. American forces had launched an ambitious campaign to win over Quebec and bring Canada into the revolutionary fold. But on June 8, 1776, it all came crashing down. At the Battle of Tro Rivieres, disorganized American troops, many sick and undersupplied, were ambushed and crushed by British and Loyalist forces. Over 200 American soldiers were captured. The survivors retreated in chaos. This was more than a tactical defeat. It ended the dream of a northern 14th colony. Canada would remain loyal to Britain, shaping the future geography and politics of North America. It's a reminder that not every revolutionary ambition succeeded, and not every neighbor was ready to join the rebellion. Now let's rewind slightly to one of the Revolution's most iconic early battles. On June 17, 1775, colonial militia faced off against British regulars on Breed's Hill, just outside Boston. The British eventually claimed the hill, but at an enormous cost, over 1,000 casualties. As legend has it, American commander William Prescott gave the famous order, "Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes." Whether he said that or not, the spirit behind it was clear. Make every shot count. Though the British technically won, it was a Pyrrhic victory. The sheer resistance and effectiveness of the colonial militias shocked British commanders. And for the Americans, it was proof they could hold their own against a world superpower. It was one of the first moments the colonies truly believed they could win. Before we move on, I want to mention that I launched a second channel where I'll be publishing some old but mostly new videos, and it will also act as a backup channel in case anything should happen to this one. We can all congregate over there. So please click on over to Walkabouts in Revolutionary Times. You'll see the thumbnail is basically an illustration of my thumbnail on this channel. And hit subscribe, follow along there for videos that you won't get here, and also a place to go in case anything should happen to this channel. And now back to the video. Almost a century later, the Union was victorious, but the pain of war was far from over. On June 30th, 1865, a military tribunal concluded the trial of 8 conspirators charged with plotting to kill Abraham Lincoln. The verdict? 4 were sentenced to hang, including Mary Surratt, the first woman ever executed by the federal government. The trial itself was controversial. conducted by a military commission, not a civilian court. It raised immediate questions about due process, civil rights, and wartime justice. Some argued it was necessary in a time of national trauma. Others saw it as a dangerous precedent, but it remains a potent symbol of a nation struggling to heal, unsure how to balance justice with vengeance. Now to a quieter breakthrough, but one that would change the face of war forever. On June 8, 1930, American scientists in Anacostia, D.C. achieved the first successful radar detection of an aircraft, a blip on a screen that proved invisible things could be seen. Radar was still primitive, but it laid the groundwork for what would become one of the most essential tools for World War II. From detecting Luftwaffe bombers over London to guiding Allied ships through the Pacific, radar saved lives and reshaped strategy. It's hard to imagine modern warfare or even modern weather forecasting without it. And it all started with a whisper of discovery on a quiet day in June. Finally, we turn to the aftermath of World War II. On June 30th, 1945, the Soviet Red Army solidified control over Danzig, a historic city on the Baltic coast, known as Danzig, Poland. For decades, it had been a flashpoint of tension between Germans and Poles, and it was here that the first shots of World War II were fired in 1939. Now, nearly 6 years later, the Soviets claimed it. This was part of a broader Soviet strategy: establish a buffer zone across Eastern Europe. The capture of Danzig was one more step in the shifting map of post-war Europe, a preview of the Cold War to come. Borders moved, populations were uprooted, empires faded, and the world entered a new era. History doesn't always move in straight lines. Sometimes it turns on midnight escapes, on battles won but strategically lost, on quiet discoveries in anonymous labs, on tribunal verdicts written in pain. These 6 events, all clustered throughout the weeks of June, show us just how much the world can change in a matter of days, and how many moments, once forgotten, shaped the world we live in today. Thanks for joining me in this walk through the shadows of history. If you found something new or surprising in the video, give it a like, and subscribe for more deep dives, and leave a comment with your favorite hidden story from history. What was previously this week in the fourth turning is now going to move to this month in the fourth turning, with new videos coming out that will capture an entire month on the first day of that month. So the next one you can look for is July 1st, July 1st, 2025, where I will talk about all of the sort of hidden but really important fourth turning events from July of previous years. Until next time, keep looking back because the past has a lot more to say. I'll see you then.